Back in the garage today. Back in the garage today. What's going on, guys? Back in the garage today, where we are going to put some new hand guards, factory hand guards, on my 2008 KTM 990 Adventure. The ones on there are the factory ones. They're bent in a little bit. I put some new mirrors on. They're not working just right, so I'm gonna put some new ones on. We're gonna mount these mirrors. We got a lot of stuff to do. So anyway, let me show you. So here is a look at the factory hand guards. Now this one, it's gonna be kind of hard to tell. It's bent in. It's obviously been crashed on the side a couple of times. You can tell I got rid of my factory mirrors. We went with these. More on that later. This one over here doesn't look like it's in too bad a shape, but considering I can get a brand new set for 50 bucks, that's what we did. So here is the part number for the handguard kit we're putting on. Again, this is the OEM. I will link it down in the description below. Got them from Rocky Mountain ATV MC. I want to say they're right around $55. So if you're looking for a set and you want to go OEM, they sell OEM parts on there. So go check it out. Now, because I have these Rottweiler mirror mounts on here, I'm going to go ahead and remove these first along with the mirror using a 4mm hex. And we'll get these out of the way and in a place for safekeeping while we swap out these hand guards. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing over on this side. Okay, so for the hand guards themselves, we've got some 8mm bolts here. On the back, at least on these, there is a 10mm nut. You could also use a Torx bit if you want, but I'm just going to use this T-handle 8 and spin these off. And once you get both the nuts off of there, this should pull right off, and then we'll work our way out to the handlebar end. Alright, so over here on the handlebar end, we're going to use a 6mm hex. Now, there are some pieces that should come out with this, so we don't want to loosen it up too much, because we've got the little expansion pieces that help hold this in that I'd prefer to keep on the bolt if at all possible. Just going to use some snap ring pliers. There we go. That's the expansion piece that's in there. It should be it. So basically what that bolt did is when it threads in there like that, it expands this piece out, and that's what holds it into the handlebar so that they don't slide out. So anyway, we got that removed. Now before we move on, I want to show you the differences of the ones we just took off and the ones we're about to put on. This is the updated part. This one has been discontinued. You can tell this one's got a flatter finish on it, where this one has the glossier finish in certain areas. These are the ones that come on the new bikes, the 1290s, 1190s, 1090s. Same one that's sitting there on my 2016 1290 Super Adventure. Some of the other minor differences, which I think will actually be beneficial, is if we take a look over here on the side, you can see how this one has this raised edge where this one here is flat. For mounting these Rottweiler bar end mirror mounts, I think this is going to work better than what these did. I had a little bit of an issue trying to get the angle set right because of this ridge on here. So anyway, they are a little different. I have them upside down. This is the way it will go. This is the high point of it, the upper point. They don't mount like this, they mount like this, so just make sure you're putting them in the right orientation when they go back on the bike. Okay, so if we look at our hardware kit, we're going to take the bigger bolt and this washer, and that drops in here. We're going to take this piece, it's going to slide here, and then this one we're going to start to thread on just a little bit. Now this is a different setup than what I just pulled out of here. This is a two-piece. It's going to work the same way. As we tighten this down, these two pieces of metal are going to expand out like that, and that's what's going to hold it in place there. So even though it's set up this way, obviously I've got to get it on here. I just wanted to show you this orientation. So obviously the hand guard is going to go in between this washer and this piece right here. So let me get that. So this is what it should look like, and I'm not going to tighten anything down right now. We're just going to slide it into place, and we're just going to run it in a little ways just so it starts to bite, and then it'll give us some adjustability to get this hand guard where we want it. Now, a couple of things in mounting these hand guards. Just because this is where your brake lever and master cylinder reservoir is set up, and you know all of your You can move this wherever you want to get this handguard where you want it, get your controls where you want it. So off camera, I'm gonna make some adjustments here so I can get this set up the way I want it, and then I'll come back on and show you how to get these on the rest of the way. I've been racking my brain to figure out what the problem is, and then I realized that whoever owned this bike before me has the throttle cables routed down low instead of up high where they should be, which is causing me some problems. So I'm gonna rotate this around so it actually works properly. All right, now that I've got everything configured properly, we're gonna use the new mounting hardware. So it's these two bolts, these two nuts, and this plastic piece. And we're not tightening anything down yet. We just kind of want to get everything just snug. Check, make sure it's where we want before we tighten anything down. So let's get these pieces on. All right, so that's started. Now I'm gonna lock down my my control levers and throttle tube and everything here. And then we're gonna come over here on this end and grab that 6mm hex and start tightening everything up. Okay, so back over on this side, you just kind of want to hold this in place where you want it. Just get it good and snug. And now we're going to tighten these down. So again, 10mm nut on the back, 8mm, or you can use the Torx if you want. Do not tighten these down too tight. They are just plastic. Last thing we want to do is bust them up before we ever even get a chance to try them. There we go. We got the right side handguard on. Okay, so over on this side, it's going to be the same process. We're going to put a 10mm on the back, hold that nut, spin these 8s out. Since this one doesn't want to come out, we're going to spray it with a little bit of PB Blaster, see if we can loosen it up in case there's any corrosion in there. And what I've done is I put this bolt back in, but I've only threaded it a little bit because I don't want it to expand out. We're going to see if we can use these channel locks and pry this out of here. There it goes. Move it a little. Almost. Now we got it. All right, so once again, just like before, we've got the washer, we got the 6mm, and then we have our two pieces there, and we got the one threaded on a little bit. Go ahead and kind of run this somewhat into place. All I'm gonna do is just tighten this down a little with my 6mm hex wrench, just so it bites, and then we'll work our way over here. All right, so now figure out which way this piece goes. We get these bolts started and just get the nut started on the back there. Alright, so with those started, the only thing we really have left to do now is I'm going to take a look at the front of the bike. I want to make sure the handguards are kind of level with the way I want them, and then just tighten it down. Alright, so there is the finished product. We've got the new handguards installed. Look a little bit nicer than what the old style were, but pretty simple and straightforward to get installed. Alright guys, so pretty straightforward process to get those handguards installed. You just need a few simple tools. One thing I do want to share with you before I sign off today is what should you do with the fasteners, bolts, and stuff you just took off. Personally, I would not throw them away. I'd hold on to them. If you own a KTM adventure bike, dirt bike, whatever, those are pretty common fasteners you're going to use. So what I would do with them is something I've got over here. Let me show you. I keep one of these bolt Euro style packs that come with all sorts of nuts, bolts, everything you're going to need for your dirt bikes, adventure bikes. And even if you don't ride a KTM, they've got them available for Japanese bikes and other models out there too. This one's from Bolt. I've used quite a few of these, and when there's stuff I take off a bike that I don't need anymore, I put them in here. So this is one of the kits available. I forget how many pieces it comes with. Since I was starting to run low on some of those, I did pick this one up from Tusk. It's a 178 piece. Obviously, I haven't even taken the stuff out of the baggies yet. It just came in the mail the other day. So I like to have these as backup. I'll link them down in the description below, because if you're working on your own bikes, this is something you definitely want to have. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, considering that subscribe button, because if you like motorcycles, well, this is the place to be. If you have any questions about anything I did today, I know I still got to put those mirrors on. I'll talk about those in a later video. Let me know down in the comment section below. I'll do my best to answer them. And as always, I'll talk to you again soon.